Okay. Howdy, everyone. I know we are in the final stretch of this incredible 3-day conference, and I am the second last speaker of the evening, so thank you for hanging in there. I promise this one's gonna be fun, refreshing, and a bit of full of purpose. So my talk for the day is democratizing data using Python-powered dashboards and open data for transparent governance in Austin. Governments generate massive amounts of data, but making that data accessible, understandable, and impactful, well, that's still a challenge. So in this talk, we'll explore how I, at the City of Austin, use Python to transform open data sets into interactive dashboards that promote transparency and public engagement. So we look at some real-world examples, get our hands dirty with some code, and also walk through how these tools help build stronger and more informed communities. So to kick us off, let's do a quick activity because I see some yawning around. So I'll show you an image of raw data, just text and numbers, and you will have 5 seconds to glance at it and try to spot some key insights. So are you ready? Yeah. Awesome. Oh, the glare. Okay, time's up. So can anyone tell me the event that had the highest participation? What about the lowest feedback score, the event that got the lowest feedback score? Okay, it's okay before you answer. So all right, it's no problem. So now let me show you the same data, but visualized. Let's see. Okay, time's up. So now who's gonna tell me the event which had the highest participation? Come on, we need answers. Okay, okay. And what about the event that had the lowest feedback score? Or the highest feedback? Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. So the first was Zilker, and the second one was the community garden fair. So you're right, perfect. So just now we saw the power of visualization. As humans, we are wired to understand visuals 60,000 times faster than text. And that's why dashboards matter, because they just don't show data, they tell a story. So now we have seen what I am very excited about. So also I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Tanvi, and I'm a Gen Z data enthusiast with over 5 years of experience in data science, ML, and a lot of data visualization. I work as a data expert with City of Austin, where I build dashboards that empower data-driven decisions and encourage community engagements. I also serve as the Open Data Portal Liaison for the City of Austin, and that means that I maintain the data that is available on Open Data Portal, because open data and transparency just doesn't mean having dashboards up, but it also means that our data is actionable. And outside work, you can usually find me at US National Parks, so I can be spotted climbing the cliffs of Zion or just roaming around the dunes of White Sands. Perfect. So now the question is, why are we doing all this? Why visualize data? Why Python? Why create dashboards? Because at the heart of it all is data transparency. When the public can access and understand city data, it creates a foundation for trust. People are more likely to trust decisions when they can see the numbers behind them. Second, accountability. Dashboards show what is working and what's not. Third, equity. So transparent data also helps spotlighting the overlooked issues. And finally, collaboration. Communities engage more when the facts are clear and shared. And that's where Python-powered dashboards are more than just visuals. They help shape informed communications between teams and the people whom it serves. So lots of talking is done now. So let's now take a look at how City of Austin is putting all this into action. So here's the City of Austin Open Data Portal, and I have provided the link also. So before we proceed, what is open data? I've been talking a lot about data transparency. So open data is a data made accessible and reusable for public, like crime reports, budget data, park usage. All this data can be considered as open data. And cities are using open data to foster trust and transparency. The City of Austin has a dedicated open data portal, as we can see here. It is a centralized platform that publishes data sets across departments, from parks to police, from traffic to trash pickup. And all this data is machine readable and is available in shareable formats. Again, it's freely available and there is no restriction on use. So here I would like to take a moment to give you all a walkthrough of City of Austin Open Data Portal. So here's the link, and this is the City of Austin Open Data Portal homepage. It's a portal where we have data which is available for public, and if we scroll down, we can see the most popular topics that people are interested in: animal care, community services, neighborhood, etc. And if we scroll down more, here we can see data catalog. So we have 4 categories over here: data, data stories, charts, and even geospatial data is available. So feel free to check out this link, and if you click on data, it will take you to this catalog. And here we have almost 1,600 data sets available for public. And this is all live real-time data. Here you can see the most of the data sets here are updated some time back. And if we talk about this data, real-time traffic incident report, this is updated every 5 minutes. So this is a great resource and it's available for public, and it encourages data transparency. So let's say if I click on one of the reports, and let's go to this real-time reports. Here we can see more details of it, like how many views it got, how many downloads it experienced, and then below we can see the description of the data set, how many rows, columns are there, and description of the columns. So going back to our presentation, so now I have done enough of talking now, so let's get our hands dirty with some code. So I have created a dashboard using Dash. It is a Python framework. And to create that, I'll be using 2 live data sets that I've taken from Open Data Portal. First is the real-time traffic incident report. I used it because it's the most viewed data set, and it's dynamic. So this data is sourced from Austin Travis County itself. And so I would like to use this data set to visualize the time series, the trends over time, and what type of frequent incident types occur. Next, the second data set I'll be using is PARD 311 service request. It captures non-emergency public requests about park, issues like damaged equipment, graffiti, or trash. It includes information like date, service type, status, location, so it's pretty detailed. And the reason why I chose this data set was because it connects directly to the citizen experience. So I'll be using this data set to visualize the seasonal trends of the parks and rec centers, and also see what type of requests they usually experience. So I'll be going back to Open Data Portal and show you how I downloaded the data. So if we go to this data portal, I have already opened the traffic report. So if I click on export, I can choose to download the file in any format, CSV, Excel, or even XML. Or I can also create an API endpoint to make sure that my dashboard is real-time and it's updated. So this Open Data Portal is very hands-on. Moving next. Okay. So in the meantime, also please feel free to scan the QR code. I have my GitHub link over there, and it has I have uploaded all the files over there. So if you want to go through the code parallelly with me, feel free to do that. So once I have downloaded the CSVs, I will use Pandas library in Jupyter Notebook to load the data and perform some initial data cleansing on it. So I'll be loading data, and then here I'm trying to preview the first few rows to make sure what data I have. And then moving forward, I am parsing data using pd.to_date time function, just to make sure my dates are okay, everything is fine and good. Also, I will create some filters based on time periods, and also create a couple of new fields to make sure my final dashboard is exactly how I want that to be. Next, this is exactly what I was saying, that I am performing some initial exploratory data analysis on my data, and I am using VS Code over here. So here I'm also using group by and aggregate functions here to summarize stats for better visualization. Okay, so now we are good. We have done a basic exploratory data analysis. We have cleansed our data. So now we are all good to go and build an interactive dashboard. But before we proceed, I would request you to raise your hands if your brain is at 50% battery right now. Come on, it's good. I like that. Okay, perfect. Because that's exactly how much RAM it takes to run a good dashboard. So you're good. Okay, we'll continue. So finally, we are ready to dashing towards visualization. So here in my code, I am using Plotly Dash. As I told before, it is a Python framework that is used to create interactive dashboards that anyone can use right from a browser. So this is my core Dash app logic, as you can see here in the screenshot. So here I'll be defining the dashboard layout using Dash components like html.div. So if you can see, like above, I am trying to import all the important Python libraries, and then finally I am initializing the app. And also below in the code, I'm trying to load the files and just making some corrections so that all my dates and everything is perfect. And then finally, in the below, here I am defining the layout. Also, in my code, I'll be using Dash callbacks. So on top, you can see. So these are Python functions that automatically update outputs whenever input changes. So here in the input, I'm providing tab as input. So in my mind, I'm visualizing my dashboard because I'm inputting two data sets. I want two tabs, one for traffic and one for 311 data set. So here I'm using this callback function for these two tabs, one again for incident and one for 311. This is what's happening here. Going ahead. And now I'll create one more two more callback functions, one for PARD 311 data and another for real-time incident. So here in the input, you can see on top that I am providing input the year drop-down value. So on my dashboard, I also want to create a filter for years, like I want to see data only for 2021, 2022, or I just want to see an aggregated overview of the dashboard. So I can choose that. So this is what we have done, and I'm doing the same for real-time traffic data. And going forward, in the end, this is the line which will make the dash code run. And so once we run this will be the default output URL that we'll get, and our dashboard will be live on this. Also, one thing about Dash is, of course, it's pure Python, and also it provides us with great customizable options. So I can use a bit of HTML and some CSS to make sure my dashboard is more pretty and is more user-friendly. So here I have written a quick CSS script, and in the bottom you can see that in this graph block, I am trying to give the borders a soft rounded corners so that it doesn't feel too picky. So yes, I am someone who thinks in detail when it comes to dashboard. Everything should look perfect and it should be very user-friendly and stuff like that, and to make it more approachable and nice. And then finally, this is how we'll run the code. So this is my VS interface. And so I have my .py code ready already. We just went through it. Again, please feel free to scan the QR code and you can get the code over there. But before running the code, I'll make sure that all my Python libraries are updated. Everything is all set. And once that's done, so this is the syntax I'll be using to run my .py code. Python filename.py. Just hit enter, and let magic happen. So once the code runs successfully, this is the output we'll see, and we see that Dash is running on this particular URL. So we have done a lot. So now, drum rolls, please. Let's go and check our dashboard. So just to save us some time, I have already ran the code here in local. So I have my dashboard up, and here it is. So here's the link, and here we have a heading, City of Austin Open Data Dashboard. And as promised, it has two tabs. One is PARD 311, and one is for traffic incidents. And here we can clearly see that we have a filter, and right now we can see that what type of service request PARD department gets. And below we can see the frequency of those requests. Let's filter it for 2020, should be live. Yep, so we see that our data here is updated. Let's go and check out the traffic incident board. Yep, here we can see that the categories that have most incident types count, and below we see the trend of these incidents that occur. Again, we can filter it based on years. So you can see that how powerful Python is, and just by using a Dash framework, we created such an interactive and quite insightful dashboard. So going back to our presentation. So these are the screenshots of the dashboard that we created. Now, some of you might be wondering, why did I choose Dash over Tableau, Power BI, or other options? So let's break it down. So I have 5 reasons why I chose Dash over other options. First is customization. As we just saw, how easy it is to customize the layout and everything of the dashboard. So whether it's the layout, interactivity, or data processing, Python lets me tailor everything based on my needs. Whereas Tableau and Power BI, they have their predefined templates, and it's not that customizable. Second, Dash is free. It's open source. So even if we use Tableau and Power BI, we still have to buy a license, but with Dash, it's free and it's great to use, and we don't have to get any license or subscription for that. Third, flexibility. So Dash integrates seamlessly with the vast Python ecosystem. As we saw, that I was able to integrate it quite seamlessly with my Python code in VS Code. So whether I need to perform complex data analysis with pandas, as we did, or incorporate machine learning models, Dash handles it effortlessly. Fourth, deployment. We just saw how quick and easy it was to deploy my Dash app. I can deploy Dash applications anywhere, on cloud, in the server, or on-premise. So this flexibility ensures that the dashboard is accessible to the intended audience without being tied to a specific platform like Tableau or other. And finally, performance. Dash is optimized for performance, especially when it comes to large data sets. Even Power BI, Tableau, they experience some kind of performance hiccups when it comes to complex, large data sets, but it's not usually same for Dash. So in summary, dashing your dashboard can be one of your best viable solution at times, based on the project needs, of course. So to conclude, as we wrap up, I encourage each one of you to explore open data available in your communities. There's a wealth of information waiting to be transformed into actionable insights. And with Dash, you have the tools to create interactive, customized dashboards that can drive transparency and informed decision-making. So whether you are a developer, an analyst, or just a curious citizen, Dash empowers you to bring data to life. Again, please feel free to scan the QR code on top. I have uploaded my GitHub repository over there. You can access the code, or just connect with me on LinkedIn. I post daily there. So let's dive in, experiment, and see what we can create together. Well, thank you for your time.